blow myself off the ground, I was like, dude, you cannot leave without like all your teeth. And so I'm like looking around for my teeth, and then like all of a sudden I feel, and I'm like, oh, I have my teeth. And I look down and I see my pinky. I'm like, no. Look, he was like, either you can take my help and like, I will take you the distance, or if you just do this by yourself, you'll be nothing more than just some farm boy from Southern Oregon. Well, I guess I'll take your help. And that really is like what ruined the whole thing. One of the people that I looked up to since childhood is standing right in front of me. The only answer I have to give him for why the performance is so bad, he's not going to accept right out the gate. It's weird being in a sport and spending so much time here where it's so safe and really there's no danger, to all of a sudden you're like, oh, I could die real quick if I didn't do this correctly.
Let's see how you do under pressure. I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy.
Welcome back to the #1 Drift Podcast on YouTube, presented by Injuku Racing. My name is Dawson, and today we have...
Matt Coffman.
Hell yeah. I would call you one of the people's heroes.
Oh.
I would say.
Please.
Shit, I know you're a little too humble. You're
Dude,
not going to agree to that?
No. Just not, that's what my mom calls me too.
No. Oh, okay, that's where we got it. I got it. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, before we get into it, of course, look below the video. Make sure the subscribe button is not still red. If it is, click that and hit the bell notification while you're at it so you never miss an episode. Again, we are here at Gridlife for Lime Rock. And we got a beautiful track behind us. I know you can't really see it because it's getting dark. But big shout out to Gridlife for giving us this space and Lime Rock to kind of shoot some episodes and bring you guys the best interviews. And yeah, so I'm sure we'll talk about some parts and stuff too. Most of those you can also find on Injuku. Links to everything are always in the description. But that's all I got. So if you want to give an introduction on kind of who you are in case anyone out there doesn't know.
I'm Matt Kaufman. I'm a kid from Southern Oregon, and that's all I got, partner.
Oh, I bet. Whatever.
No. Dude, yeah, no, just ex-FD driver, washed up. Just like your overall, just like trying to go to as many grassroots events as possible, if you could consider Gridlife grassroots. But yeah, no, just like, just lover of good times. Just, here to have fun.
Yeah. I would say Gridlife's probably like a peak grassroots.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Because the whole thing's about fun. Like having
Literally, fun. Yes. Even this one, it's a more mellow Gridlife.
For
but
sure.
It's been kind of better, I would say.
Yeah.
After a full season, kind of getting to a little break.
Chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, today I woke up at I think 10:30 or something. That's the latest I've woken up for a drift event. I can't tell you the last time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish, dude.
Yeah.
We are here with
Travis Reeder.
All right, well, first question I got for you is, what was the first set of wheels you ever bought?
I bought a set of S14 SEs when I 5-lug swapped my S13 in high school.
There you
First
go.
set of wheels.
And then what would you consider is good fitment for a drift car?
Ooh, I like the meat flush. I like no stretch.
car.
Yeah, square tire to wheel, but like right at the outside edge of the fender, like this thing. Flush. Meat flush is the jam.
All right, and then what would you say is the most iconic wheel?
Regas.
Damn, that's a good one too. And then if you could afford to run any wheel on your car, what would it be?
I'd chrome some Regas and put them on a car.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, when's the last time you saw
with it.
chrome Regas? Never.
Well, there you go. All right, well, I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, dude.
We are here with
Mike?
First question I got for you is, what was your first set of wheels you ever bought?
They were XXRs. I don't remember what model exactly, but I know that they were XXRs.
And then what would you consider is good fitment for a drift car?
I think fitting into the fenders, but
To some
flush. Yeah,
There
not
we
too
go.
strong. Yeah, they got to be flush.
All right, cool.
Maybe
I'm
a
with
little bit
that.
of poke. A little bit of poke is okay.
He's got an S15 over here. It's clean as fuck, so that's why. And then what would you say is the most iconic wheel?
I think the Blitz 03s or the VSKFs. I'm a big VSKF
There
guy.
we go.
I think they're hit or miss. I like them, but they're way out of my price range.
I think that's true. All right, and then the fourth one is, if you could afford to run any wheel on your car, what would it be?
I think some two-piece CR Kais.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had VSKFs. I ran VSKFs for years.
That'll always be one of my favorite wheels.
Yeah, they're just kind of a pain to mount tires on. But yeah, 2-piece CR Kais, I think is good.
Perfect. Hell yeah. We are here with
Mike Cattell.
So the first question I got for you is, what is the first set of wheels you ever bought?
Was probably for my Volkswagen in high school TDI.
Really?
They were like a used marketplace. You know the classic like chrome rim with the black spokes with the
yeah.
bad fitment. Like not, I'm a good fitment guy now. I've evolved through the years, but horrible fitment. But I was the coolest guy. I don't even know the brand of the wheels. That's how good they were.
And then what would you consider is good fitment for a drift car?
I'm a big slam drift car guy. You gotta have your wheel arch and tire fitment dialed in. It's gotta look presentable. You can't be sunk in and looking like it's missed leg day. You gotta have a little bit of stretch, make it fit right. Especially with these Kansei's on the staggered fitment with the 10.5 on the back, you get a lot more of the concave look and it looks dialed.
The Neos too are kind of the same. Since they're such a flat face, you gotta get the good offset.
You gotta get a good offset to really show off the wheel.
And then what would you say is the most iconic wheel?
I'd say a work wheel, like a 3-piece Meister.
Can't go wrong with that at
That's
all.
one, or like S1. There's a lot of different Meisters.
Right.
Or you can go RPFs. They look good on everything. But I'm a stance guy. I like 3-piece Johns.
Hell yeah. Okay. And then if you could afford to run any wheel on your car, what would it be?
It really depends on the car. These Kansei wheels for my drift car are perfect. But when it comes to show cars and stuff, it all depends on your budget, man. Like you can go 3-piece, the coolest things on the block, but you can also stunt and not spend all of your money and still do other things to your car. So that's why again, I love these wheels. I have 10 of them. Or I could have 4 3-piece wheels.
Right,
I'll take the 10 Kansei's for this car.
Absolutely. Any freaking day. Well, hell yeah, dude. I appreciate it. All right. Well, first question I wanted to ask was, what was it like being an FD at like a fairly young age?
Yeah, of course it's a thing of dreams, and it was just you have to make sure that if you're going into it with a program that's like rock solid. Like you can't be questionable about like people that you have around you, like their motives, their ambitions, their intelligence, like whatever. Like it's really it's for the pure of heart, like if you're gonna chase that dream. And so it's like, unless some people, there's a lot of greed in it obviously nowadays. It's like anybody who sees an avenue of like financial benefit like is gonna take it. And so there are some people who, and unfortunately like kind of after a couple of years, Formula D turns you into that no matter what, because like you get addicted to it.
Into it.
Yeah, you get addicted to it, and then like if you want to keep this addiction going, it's like you have to monetize
keep feeding it.
Yeah, full on. And so it was an honor, of course. I was, a dream just like for anybody else. And so I'm very thankful for the opportunity to have been able to go, even if like just the programmer was wrong, the car was wrong. And so, but I'm trying to like stop talking about that, because like I hear myself talk about like the past and I'm like, dude, shut up, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I want to iterate that I'm super thankful that I ever got to do it, but yeah, it just wasn't meant for me. Like it just sometimes in life, like you just have to wait for the doors that are meant for you. And so
I get that.
Yeah. And so we had a couple of really good years, but
so it was a dream though. Like it was something you kind of set out for.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Ever since I first learned about drifting, or I knew it was for me. Like I knew it was what I wanted to be a part of. But yeah, it was fun. It is fun. It is stressful. And I'm sure you've heard that all over the place.
Oh yeah, dude. I preach about it. I know you've seen a little bit of a couple episodes and a lot of the clips.
Yeah.
But I preach about that on the podcast. Like FD is amazing for drifting, but it might not be amazing for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes a certain type of psychopath to be able to make FD work and be beneficial to you.
Yeah.
In a sense. So.
Hold on.
Like if you want to do it just to go drive with the best drivers, you got plenty of other ways to do that.
Exactly.
So
like Gridlife.
Exactly, dude. That's why I preach about Gridlife. Oh,
it's so good.
This is my first year going to a Gridlife.
Oh yeah, which one?
And I've been to like 4 of them now.
Which one did you first?
South Carolina was the
that
first
was the
one.
only
I
one
drove
missed.
that one too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, drove. My car was having boost issues and all sorts of shit. So.
What was the track sick?
Track was amazing.
That was the only
and
one
they
I
had
missed.
the car track open too, so that was really cool.
Sick.
But
yeah, Yeah. I because of how much time and like just like finances FD soaks up, I could never find myself going to a Gridlife event. Like you just spend so much time on the road doing other stuff for FD. And so like this year was the first time or Laguna was the first one I'd ever been to, and I was like, oh, this is where I'm gonna be. Like like I don't really want to go anywhere else because this is just so much fun. So many good people, everybody's passionate, like, and nobody's here to like be greedy or like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
it
fun.
really is a different experience.
Yeah.
It's just different than any other type of, not even just drift event, but racing event. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. Well, on the topic of FD though, there's a lot of differences now in FD than when you were driving and stuff. So like, what is your opinion on the newer changes and everything that's been happening?
I mean, really the seating bracket is the only thing that's, I mean, it does fill up the time, like the time that would be allotted for qualifying previously is now more exciting because you're watching battles.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like qualifying's like, I don't know. I don't know how you sidestep qualifying. It's just such a weird thing to me, personally.
I get that.
Yeah. Besides that, everything else is the rules are the only thing that kills me. Like, I don't know, not being able to just like if you have a dry sump tank in the back of your car and you just want to drill a hole so you could like easy drain the thing, like drain the tank like right out the bottom. Can't do that, that would make your car illegal. And so it's just like stupid, like dumb little things that.
Why do you think some of those silly rules even come into play? Like what happens to even make those?
I don't know, dude. I try not to think about it or stress about it too much because like it's just a purgatory. Well, no, it's like even before it's like in rally racing and stuff, like all those cars have pin jacks. So it's like a set of holes that go into the frame, like on the outside. Okay. And so you can jack a car up and then slide those pin jacks in, and they're not going to come off the car. You can like wrench on the car. Yeah. And it's super stable, and they get the car super tall off the ground, and like do all the like you're not fussing with like there's a jack stand in the way and you can't do this because like blah blah blah. It's like, and the fact that you just can't do that. I don't know. But it's been talked about for forever. Like, why aren't these things a possibility? And it's just, I don't know. True. It's just the way it is.
Damn. Yeah, the qualifying thing is a little bit weird to me. I understand why they're doing it, but like as like coming from true drifting and stuff, it does seem a little bit like something's missing in a sense. But hopefully it helps with spectation, I guess, especially views and stuff. I don't know.
I think qualifying was sick though. I don't know. It's like the only time the drivers have to like watch each other because like as soon as you're
right. And that's why I think it's good. But they're like, the audience has obviously no clue what's going on, which sucks too. But what do you think would help the audience better understand what is actually happening? Because I know that's a big topic that.
Yeah, you almost need like a really oversimplified, like, I don't know, rendering animations or something like that like, you know, quickly but on a childlike level describe what's occurring and stuff, and like have those flash frequently. It's like today's day and age, like it just the way that like social media has like affected people, like if you look at like attention span's done for. And then if you go back and like look at movies, if you like old movies and stuff like the average shot length in films was like 15 seconds, and today if you watch a movie in like a modern day, it's 3 seconds is the average shot length today. And it's like, dude, how are you? This is like, I can't watch this. Like it's
if you get into YouTube and stuff like that, you have to study that stuff, which is it's almost like psychological warfare in a sense, dude. It's really weird because especially that Coco Melon stuff for kids. Have you ever heard of that?
What is this?
Dude, it's some cartoon show.
Oh, dude, I've heard of this.
I heard it's like crack to kids, so I was curious why. And as an editor, like I went and looked at one of them, and I was like counting the seconds, and like, dude, I think I counted one that was longer than 3 seconds.
Really?
Just one. Throughout like it wasn't even a 5-minute span of this episode. It's fucking nuts, dude.
It's sad. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing to people with all this stuff, but yeah. And this is turning from a drift podcast into a totally different podcast.
Yeah. Well, I'll swing it back.
No.
That's my
I'm down to have these conversations. I don't know where you want to go with it. Like, dude, you want to talk about skinwalkers and like, dude, things that go bump in the woods?
God.
Dude, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I could forever, but let's not. Probably. Just to keep it on topic. Oh. Yeah. Dude, I could go for days. I get stuck on those videos whenever they come up on
what, Skinwalkers or Coco Melon or whatever?
Well, okay, Coco Melon, no. But you know what I mean?
Dude, she finds you like 5 days later like, I can't stop.
feel like I'm dealing with a child.
Yeah.
All right, we were talking about FD.
Yeah, things that
Anyways.
we could do, things we could change.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, I don't know. I think something to like fill, I think it would be sick if they like, if Formula D did like a real Togue style competition elsewhere, filmed it, recorded it, edited it, and then during all the downtime during FD, like in the commercial breaks or like
That
things like
would be
that, it
pretty
could show
sick.
like individual battles from that. And just like, because dude, I think that stuff is super sick. Like, I don't know, it's to fill a void of a sport with like nothing to do with stuff that has nothing to do with the sport and stuff, or I don't know, it's like, it's tough. But again, I got no idea what I'm talking about. I'm from Medford, Oregon. I look at the stars at nighttime for fun. So it's like,
Yeah, not much to do out there. That's
dude,
for sure.
no, not at all. Just drive the mountains. That's it.
Jesus. Okay, well, how long were you actually in FD?
My
you
first
go?
year was 2014, 2014, and then I drove until 2019 when my arm broke, and then
Yeah.
that shifted.
How
my
did your
life.
arm break?
Oh, have you never heard that?
No, I never heard
Oh,
that.
dude. So, yeah, this is a wild story. So I just felt like I didn't fit in FD. The people that I had as teammates, I've had some really great teammates, but as far as like people who made decisions and stuff like that, like would overrun myself. So was just never great. And so like I was out in the woods in Oregon, just like looking at the stars one day, and I was just like, dude, if I'm not supposed to be here, like show me. And then because like there were so many things that just didn't work for me, I wasn't happy. Like people around me weren't happy. Like the program I wasn't doing that great. Like we had one season where we did top 10 all year, and we started in 6th, ended in 10th. And so like that was a great year. So I don't want to give people that impression, but
Yeah.
and so then we went to St. Louis and had it one more times against James Dean, and I was stoked about it because that was when he was in the 15, super good. Like not many people could one more him or beat him or anything like that. And so like I was just stoked. And so me and my crew members had been out riding those Lime scooters the day after.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun. Like I was just in a great mood. Like everybody was happy. And then all my guys took off, and I'm the one that drives the rig back and forth. And so all of a sudden I was like about to go back into my hotel room, and I was like, dude, I had so much fun today. I'm gonna go ride those scooters again. Because where I'm from,
By yourself?
by myself in St.
Oh,
Louis in the middle of the night. And so then like, cause back home you can go downtown at 2 o'clock in the morning and a tweaker might ask you for some change, but like that's like,
Yeah,
you're never in danger.
Yeah.
And so me being just ignorant to that was just like, I'm gonna go, park downtown, and I'm gonna go pick a restaurant somewhere, go there, eat dinner, and then just like, Uber back to the hotel. And so like a old Ford Explorer on donks, like on 28s or something like that, started to follow me like through the city and like go down one ways. Long story short, like they almost trap me in an alley. I get away from them, and then I escape around this big building, and then I get into the parking lot of the restaurant I'm trying to get to, and I see it, and then all of a sudden I look over my shoulder to see if they're still tailing me, and as I did, the front end just sank into a hole, and it just like I was doing top speed on a Lime, so like 25 or whatever, and then the handlebars kicked my legs up, so I flew through the air. I was wearing mechanics gloves instead of leather, and so when it hit the ground, it just
Split them open.
took all the bones on this side of my wrist, flipped them upside down, spiral fractured this arm. My pinky was touching my middle finger on this side, and my face, because like it all went to my face, was like just
your arms just buckle every time.
Oh, for sure. And like as I pushed myself off the ground, there was already 5 streams of blood coming off my face, and I felt my teeth go through my upper lip, and I felt them on the gravel or on the tarmac. And so like when I bumped myself off the ground, I was like, dude, you cannot leave without like all your teeth. And so I'm like looking around for my teeth, and then like all of a sudden I feel, and I'm like, oh, I have my teeth. And I look down and I see my pinky. I'm like, no. And I like pull the glove off, almost threw up on the spot, because like, dude, it was nutty. And then so walked back around to the front of the Union Station, because there was a valet dude, and he was like, oh, just sit down in here. And they were having a live event, and this is like one of the weirdest moments of my life. And he was like, just come sit down in here, and it's this beautiful old Union Station, and so like old like 1930s era, like huge. He takes me in there, and they're having a live event with like jazz music playing somewhere in the hall, and he was like, just sit down on this really nice couch, and I'm just sitting on this couch, and I'm just like looking at the white marble beneath me, and I can hear jazz music echoing through the halls, and I'm just like watching the blood pool on the ground, and I was just all like, I was just like, it's over. I was like, everything is over. over. Like FD is over. Like I just knew it on the spot. And so and that was the sign. Like that. And
Dude.
but I'm so thankful that I'm somebody who believes that everything happens for a reason. And so and then maybe just be a cope, or it may be real. I don't know. And so that's like my greatest gift, like that happened. And so because it, like I said, like once you're sucked into the whirlpool of FD, it's like they'll do everything to like make sure that you stay in there. And so if that didn't happen to me, I would have never left. I'd still be there, like still be unhappy, still be unsuccessful, just wasting my like finances, just like
damn, dude.
Everything. And so I'm so like I said, it's the greatest gift I've ever been given.
I'm glad it pulled you out then.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
Awesome.
And then because
not awesome. Sorry.
No, it is awesome because because if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have gone to Laguna, and it's like, and I wouldn't have done that entry, and I wouldn't have like pivoted and like shifted the change of my life. Same thing, I wouldn't have gone on Drift Week when Valino needed a driver to do the Northwest for Drift Week 3, and then all my best friends that I have right now, who are the greatest people I've ever been given, like same thing, I wouldn't have met them because I wouldn't have gone on Drift Week, and it's like, all of that stuff happened to like. Yeah, just bring me to a place where I'm happy. And so it's like...
Dude, that's incredible.
It really was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to kind of ask about the program and stuff for FD, but we don't really...
No, what do you want to know?
I guess from the outside, it did seem like a fairly well put together, I guess, crew and program that you were running, and fairly big, I would say.
It was.
So I guess how do you even gain the funding as an FD driver for a program that large?
So, the team was split too, and that's what made it look so crazy also, was because I was always on board with Turk. And so it's like...
Right.
So it looked a lot crazier, even when one of the times Odie comes up to my house because he has family that lives nearby me, and he was just like, oh, dude, like for such a big program, like this is a tiny shop, and I'm just in my dad's old shop. And so like it really did. It was impressive. I had help from family, of course. My dad. I was super blessed, and But my dad had. He was a huge motorsport guy and a brilliant engineer, and he always wanted to go racing as a family. But he was in a plane crash, and so he passed away when I was 17 or so. And then it's part of.
I know, but
it's
still,
part of what
like
it means to be human. It's like
right.
It's one of the few things that we all have in common as human beings, is that we have to go through loss of parents or.
Absolutely,
it's something we all experience the same, but I appreciate that. But so we kind of just did it as like we justified it because it's like he would have wanted to have done this, like he would have wanted to have been there, and I wanted to be much more humble about it. Like I wanted to just go, because for me, like I don't know, it's just like small beginnings. Like you start on a little trailer, like you get some sponsors, get some competitions, like trophies, like that's part of the whole pride of doing it.
Yeah.
Like. Same thing with a lot of people that, just grassroots. It's like, you start off with street driving your car to the track, like then you get a flatbed, like it's the growth of, who we are as people. And so I wish I had done a rally with a dude who was a really good co-driver, who was really well connected. And then, and this is back when we were still doing Pro-Am. And then he was like, you need a manager if you're going to go do this FD thing. Like you need somebody to really bring you into
right.
So one day all of a sudden I show up to my shop and go to sit down on the same picnic bench every single day to drink a cup of coffee, and all of a sudden there's a dude in a suit there, like in a button up, and he has all these folders in front of him. I'm like, what are you doing at my farm in the middle of Southern Oregon?
Oh my God.
And so I'm like, who are you? And
you stick out like a sore thumb, buddy.
Right. And he had he's really fancy, he was an impressionist, so somebody who can leave a gnarly impression on you right off the bat. And he just basically, he was like, look, either you can take my help and I will take you the distance, or if you just do this by yourself, you'll be nothing more than just some farm boy from Southern Oregon. And so me just being a kid, being well, I guess I'll take your help. And that really is what ruined the whole thing. That's what, even though they looked and they were blessings, and it looks great from the outside, but that's what put me on the rig with Turk, and the crazy Ford motor, which was a garbage motor especially for a first year thing. Everything happened for a reason. But once again, it's
a domino effect at that point.
Exactly, for all those years. And so but once again, it's if I had gone in there with the program that I wanted, I would have been much more successful with the car that I wanted, like, which is basically the car that I got right now, and I would be in the system, like, and this is why, once again, I'm trying to cope with like everything happens for a reason. But
what's crazy is you're inherently proving that now with what you're doing, because that car has been damn near indestructible from the outside perspective. I'm sure there's little quirks and stuff that happen.
It's basically, I mean, dude, it's been the same car for 12 years, 11 years or so.
Point proven then. That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's it's hard to look back. I think people struggle with like, you know, waiting for like the goodness in their lives to like get to them. And so it's like sometimes you just like, dude, if you have to wait 15 years for your day to come, it's like the journey's worth it no matter what. Yeah.
Time is like the hardest thing that I try and like comprehend. It's like, it's you get so caught up. It's hard to not want to rush everything and like make things happen as fast as possible. But no, you did. It's cool to see, especially from your perspective, and like meeting you now after everything.
Right.
You're probably way more humble than you give yourself credit for.
I appreciate that.
It's insane.
I appreciate
especially with it's a very humble like motorsport we have, but you are. Like even earlier, you was like, I hate talking past people or whatever. Like most people don't even notice stuff like that.
I appreciate that.
It's really cool, and I hate to see that you got screwed out of FD in the senses that happened. I know you're cool with it and all that stuff, but still.
I know. I feel like a lot of people have like
at least other people see it.
Exactly. I think people have a completely different vision of like who I am, especially back in those days. Like, yeah. It's easy to have perception and judgments on people, but I try not to judge people anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we'll jump off of that a little bit.
For sure.
I did want to ask though, Achilles. I always fuck up saying that. Is that how you actually say it? Achilles? Was a big part of your program.
I loved them so much.
Okay. I always thought they were great for FD, but like, whatever happened to them? Like, why did they just disappear?
They got purchased by Michelin, and then Michelin killed the brand.
That's what it was. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and the way that Achilles came into existence was really weird too. And some people I'm sure will correct me in the comments and whatnot, but what I could just gather from all the years, and it doesn't matter, the company doesn't exist anymore. But the reason that Achilles existed in the first place was, if I'm not mistaken, a Pirelli manufacturing plant in Malaysia or Singapore, somewhere like that, when it was going out of business, but they were approaching like venture capitalists or whatever you call those, one percenters, and just being all like, hey, like here's a whole tire company that you can just start up, and they technically like Achilles were basically Pirellis because it was the same compounding equipment, like the same everything, same sidewall technology, and that's why Achilles really wanted to be ran at like 25 psi was because, and you would kind of start to vary off grip in certain like principles, like if you went below that, because everything else in FD is 10 psi and whatnot, but all the technology is in the sidewall, and so it's like,
Because like I had even back when before drifting, I was into like stance cars and stuff like that.
Same.
So
I was.
Achilles were the shit. Like they were really easy to stretch because of the sidewalls were so soft, and everybody ran those as like just stance tires. At least I think.
I miss them so much.
Yeah, they were great, man. I never got to try like their good compound tire and stuff.
Dude,
like
they
that
had
you
like
guys used
100 compounds. They had so many. It was
a
honestly the Wild
company.
West for a minute. Like people on the grid were getting different size. Like they'd be like, "Oh, make sure that mine are the green stripes. Make sure that mine are the purple stripes." No, genuinely. And like when I remember in the first couple when they were giving them out to more because you had the Forest Wang Daigo year and like kind of the confusion that occurred with that. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, and like a whole bunch of it was just basically people were thinking that they were giving Daigo a certain compound, but then I don't know. It's just a whole bunch of wild stuff. So but so you could get them at like a blue stripe next to a green stripe in the early days, and the green stripes had like double the tread depth. And then like hard to notice stuff, but like you would just, dude, it was the compounding was, and still in FD today, like companies will change up compounds, not tell drivers, like just send them in, like
dude,
it's crazy. Like and that still happens. Yeah.
Damn. You run Bolinos now though, right?
Yeah, I run it, well, nowadays, if I can get them, I run a mix match of different things. I was pretty dedicated to Volino for a couple of years just because, like, they're the reason that I got back into it because of Drift Week. Like, they wanted a Northwest driver to, like, support. And so, I was so thankful for that. Changed my life.
Nice. What do you think about the tires compared to...
I think the best
A lot of
tire
them.
on the planet. Like for longevity plus grip, like I think, dude, I don't know.
Which
It's
one
The
specifically?
300s.
The 300?
Dude,
Would that be that's the Evisus, right? Or the
The Ebisu is a 360 treadwear, and so I think those have a little bit more life, but I think those have a bigger step down on grip.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I personally haven't
yeah.
tried them.
I tried them recently at I think it was NSS or something like that, with big fast track, and I loved them. For
Yeah.
like my 350 horsepower, I think, I don't know, it's just been street tuned.
Sure.
I got like 13 laps out of a pair.
Oh,
so
sick.
it was pretty decent
Yeah.
for what I'm used to.
Sure.
I guess I'm used to, like, obviously, you know, a set of Kendas would last me 2 days with the factory VQ in it, but
Right.
you know, the RV, it's a little different.
How much power do you make?
My guess is about 350. It's
Okay.
just been street tuned, so like I'm
Sick.
not 100% sure. Forrest has been in the middle of a move and stuff, and his dyno's been in storage, and so I've just been waiting on that. But
Sure.
yeah,
Sick.
yeah. So I'm shooting for like 400. I don't really care to push
Dude,
past
so
that.
reliable. Yeah, just
Yeah.
reliability. That's like my favorite thing.
Yeah, I like cool cars that have fun.
Yeah.
And get down. That's it.
Same.
That's all I want. Okay. Well, as far as like those sponsorships and stuff went, what would you say has been like the best thing that helped you gain a lot of those sponsorships? As far as like approaching, or was it the connections that you made, or like
Yeah,
stuff like that?
I think Achilles was my greatest sponsor of all time. And that was actually weird in the sense of I didn't approach it. I had used them in Pro-Am, and then because the guy that showed up at my picnic bench that day, like he lost me my Achilles sponsorship the first year going into FD, and so I went from the I went from the Achilles to the Maxxis Z1 tires, and have you ever driven on those? Mm-mm. Oh my God, dude, yeah, that was Maxxis makes some really great products in rally racing and dirt bikes or whatever. Like they make really good stuff.
Yeah.
But dude, the Z1 Drift was a set of Achilles would do 25% of button willow. Like just pick your part of the track, and they would do it during that time. And a set of Maxxises would do like 4 continuous laps. Like
No shit.
So they were that far down on grip compared to the other tires. It was, but a lot of people. So Achilles traded me internally with Nexus. And they didn't even like Nexus didn't tell me, hey, you're being traded to Achilles. Like I went to our guy at Nexus for SEMA, and he was just like, yeah, I don't have anything for you. And we had just had a top 10 season, first place qualifier at an event, like, or tied for first place with James Dean, and like a whole bunch of stuff. And all of a sudden he was like, yeah, don't have anything for you. And I was like, I was so upset on the spot. Like I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, for real.
And he was just like, yeah, he was like, you really don't have anything to offer us. And he was like, so yeah, good to see you. And like, I was just like, oh my God. And so, but then Achilles was like, hey, can you fly down here for a meeting? And I was like, oh, I mean, sure. And so,
absolutely.
yeah.
You got
and
that, bud.
So then I like flew down to LA, and yeah, it was the craziest sponsorship. It was full free tires, like for the season, as many as I wanted to drive. Like at fun events, I would get a container of 200 tires that I could sell at my own price. And then she gave me like it was like 10 grand on top then after all that.
Dude.
And I didn't even have to make a pitch for them. And so the companies do trade drivers, like, and we'll make sure that don't offer them anything so that then they have to take mine. And so
Wow.
yeah, that was
That's a killer deal.
it was the best
absolutely.
sponsorship I ever had. Like, and it felt like family too. Like they cared about us, and
Yeah.
so and that's for me. That's what I've actually turned down sponsorships this year for like product on stuff, purely based on the fact that they're just like, oh yeah, we could help you out, but if I felt like they didn't care about the program or cared about being a part of it, I'd rather like, spend the money on like 3 oil changes for the car for the year. It's like I want people who are partners, like, and who are family. Like that's my
Who
favorite
actually
part.
care
Yeah,
about
that's
what's
why
going
I feel
on.
that way about Rays, and
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
That's a
Sponsorship stuff is hard.
that's a good one too, man. The Rays one, that's
It's
killer.
My biggest honor. Like insane.
Big shout out to you on that.
Thanks, but yeah, they've been with us for forever, like since Pro-Am. And even
wild.
when I was supposed to go run 2020, after I broke my arm, I was supposed to get the Texas Speed motor. Wasn't able to get it in time because everything was just so messed up. And Rays had sent me wheels for the year already, and I was just all like, guys, I'm so sorry. Like I can't run this year. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
And then they were like, they're like, keep the wheels, like no matter what you're doing, like we want to be a part of it. And like when I saw my girl at SEMA this last year, like both me and her, like almost in tears, talking about like, just what we were experiencing. And so it's just, it's hard to describe, but they are very important to me. Very important.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, that's sick, man.
Thank you.
Well, with all those sponsorships and stuff, and like with the FD and everything, there's a lot of like, I guess, talk about if drivers actually make money and like stuff like that. So I guess, have you yourself or seen anyone in FD physically make money out of a season?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. I know there's a lot of people that if I like said their name right now, you're like, they're 30 grand on top every year, like 60 grand on top. You would be
That's crazy
for people you would not expect. And so there is a way to scam yourself into that life. But dude, it's hard if you're don't have advice on how to do that, or like if you're a genuine person and you're trying to be honest about everything you do, it's hard to scam like that. Yeah. And so because a lot of these people will promise stuff that they can't contribute, do stuff that they can't, lie about the amount of numbers that they're seeing, like all this sorts of stuff.
Really?
I'm just like, dude, I just can't do it. Yeah.
Wow. Dude, that's that's shady.
The whole thing is shady, dude. Like from top to bottom, dude. Like there's great people in there. I don't want to make it sound like that, but dude.
No, right, yeah. And FD is still, again, it's still good for drifting. Like drifting still needs that professional aspect and stuff. So like.
Yeah, and I still would love to go back. Like if I had the people around me that I loved and like had a car that I truly felt like we could dominate, and I had the partners and everything, I would go back. Like but it is an honor to have ever been there. But yeah, it's just not on my radar right now. Yeah,
that's good. I would say that's good.
Yeah, I think so.
Stick to these grid lives.
I agree.
Okay, so I guess then what is your opinion on the whole FD dream? Like I was mentioning earlier, how people just want to do it so that they can have that title or drive with the best drivers on the planet.
And that's why I wanted to do it, was because I wanted to drive with those dudes. Dude, it's like life is so short, and it's like especially in today's day and age, the way that things are going, it's like I think to be passionate about anything at all is a blessing. And so it's like I know so many people who it's like, are you even alive? Like, because they don't care about anything. It's like they don't have anything they love. They don't. Yeah. And so it's like I consider myself, like anybody who's in drifting, like I consider us super lucky to have found some that we can care about and like be passionate about, and like have brotherhood and like passion with like everybody else. Yeah. And so like if you have the passion and the dream to go to FD, it's like, dude, chase your dreams, because it's like at the end of the day, I don't know, like anything you don't do is going to be a regret. And just like any time spent just like wondering if you should do it is going to be a regret. It's like no matter what. And I'm sick of regrets. Like I'm tired of it. Yeah. And so I'm trying everything I can to just make action. So even if it's like same thing with money. It's like, and I'm not trying to give people horrible advice right now of like just spend all your cash, but it's like, dude, we can't take any of this stuff with us. Like at the end of the day, it's like once, we've lived our lives, it's like everything will go.
Yeah, we are not financial advisors.
Yeah,
don't take our financial advice.
For sure, but anybody in drifting is not financially sound in the first place.
Your money is never as valuable as it is right now. Always remember that.
Truth.
Yeah. Saving money is stupid to me.
So. Yeah. So like if you feel like you can still, like you won't be a hobo, and if you can still chase the stream and get these partnerships, like do it, because you're gonna regret not chasing your dreams. But you can also regret chasing your dreams at the same time. So it's like, you have to do what's right. You have to do what's smart for you and yours and your family, and just
what you can mentally handle.
Exactly. Yeah. What are you prepared for?
That one. Yeah. Well, cool. So I guess jumping into grid life from that, because that's what kind of pulled you and sucked you out of it, I would say. Laguna, the viral clip, you brought it up. How was that? Like, did you expect it to go that viral?
Well, we didn't even, my friend Tommy, part of Crash Style, thank you, Tommy, I love you, and I miss you. He was just sitting up on the hill, like he just recorded that. Like, we didn't send him up there.
It was not planned or nothing?
No, and that was like I had told a couple people the day prior. So, have you ever, you're not, you're East Coast. Have you heard of a place called Thunder Hill?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, so that's where I grew up drifting. I grew up drifting in my little town in Oregon, but which is just like skid pads or a go-kart track and whatnot. But Thunder Hill is like, now it's the largest racetrack in the country. It's like 5-something miles, but the front straight on that track, like you could do 150, 160 into the front first corner if you wanted to. I've only done like 140 in the rain there. And then on the backside, there's another straight that you could do like 120 mile an hour backie. Me and my friends were doing 120 backies into the, what corner is that? One of the back corners when we were like,
Good
I was like
God.
19. And so that track just makes it, so that stuff is so comfortable for me just because I spend so much time doing that.
Okay, yeah.
And so, yeah, so I had told people the day prior, I was like, yeah, I wanna link, like get over the crest and like all the way down to one. A couple different pros, and they're like, you can't do that. That's not possible.
Yeah.
It can't be done. And then, yeah, first thing in the morning.
Hold
like,
my
I think
beer,
it was
watch this.
my second time ever going around that track, like lap wise, and I was just
What?
like, yeah, and I don't have a sim either, and so I just like
That was my next question too.
yeah, and a lot of people were like, oh, he spent years on the sim practicing for that, and I was like, nah, dog, like I meant to, but
I said
didn't.
that. I said that on a podcast. I'll call myself out too.
A lot of people.
I
did.
was like, dude,
would-
there's no. I was literally I don't know if I said that on a podcast.
A lot of people
specifically,
did.
but I argued with someone. I was like, there's no fucking way he didn't have some type of sim practice because that's such a blind corner.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
crazy fast.
Yeah, well, I feel because I've been racing Forza and like just like controller driving my whole childhood, so it's like I've gone over that crest thousands of times, like in games
yeah.
and like watching on board footage or whatever, and so it's like I kind of
The
knew.
visual reference.
Yeah, like
if you squint and tilt your head to the right a little bit.
So it was, and I'm not trying to be like a jerk and like or like, no, I didn't even try. Like that's not what I'm trying. I'm trying to be honest. Like yeah, and so I meant to drive it on somebody's sim or some prior, and I forgot. And so like that was like that was like my third or fourth.
Oh my God.
That was like my third or fourth lap ever around that course, and then like. We were asleep in the trailer like 40 minutes before that happened too. Like, and then we're like, oh, we drive soon. Like, everybody wakes up and like, dude, it was like but it felt just so natural. Like, it's not as sketchy as people think because it's so far and it's such a wide piece of the track. That,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like comfortable. You're not sending like a 3-dayer out doing that, but like, it
How-
can be done.
How bad of a flat spot did you have?
Not bad
coming
because
out of that?
because I am alternating the handbrake, so it's over the crest, and I'm using the lifting of the crest to basically initiate. So I have video that I'm going to post before that event that's more pulled back that will show like kind of everything that I do on the controls. But so turn in. You hear me clutch kick, and that was because the Ford motor only ever made like 500 foot-pounds at the crank, and
Okay.
so it made 1,000 horse. But so you can hear me clutch kick, and you can see in the video kind of like a little twitch,
Yeah.
and that's me trying to turn in and clutch kick, but I had no torque to like really spin them at that, and so it's using the lifting of the crest, like to then let the car slip out,
Yeah,
like
loosen up the rear. And just
Yep.
kick
Then
out a bit.
e-brake a little bit, headed to. Then your trajectory is headed to the rumble strip, and then you can hear me get back on throttle to like. If I was to hold handbrake all the way from the crest down, I'd run out of speed, and my line would be like you'd be
Yeah.
too far in. And so I gave it more throttle to extend from the rumble strip, like just that little extra speed you would need more, and to redirect you, like. And so I mean, yeah, you should come next year, and like, dude, yeah.
I'm trying to come this year.
Oh, sick. Oh,
Yeah, so I might be there.
I mean,
yeah.
in 1 month. Yeah. You
No, I
should-
knew what you mean. You're good.
yeah. But yeah, it's fun, dude. I had so much fun. That was.
Well, yeah, speaking of Laguna, buy your tickets if you haven't already.
Yep.
But I'm really glad that clip went viral on your personal account.
Same.
I think Taylor said that in the comments
did.
too.
He commented that,
But
yeah.
dude, when I saw that and it was actually on your account, I was like, yes, because
Yeah.
driving footage never really goes viral.
Yeah.
And it did its rounds. I think last time I
Yeah.
checked, it was over 10 million, right?
Yeah, I got throttled. That clip got throttled at 11.2. So you'll check in every couple days, and it's just the people who were sitting at home were like, "Let me see that clip again." And so,
Yeah.
but it went crazy. There was one page it did 35 million on, and then that page just got bought, and so that clip is gone on that page. But yeah, dude, like all together, it had like 50-some million views.
Ridiculous.
It was crazy. From being somebody who got no exposure to just like in a lot of hate to like all of the good stuff. It was literally like my lifetime's worth of like negativity and FD or like positivity I would have had doing that if I had done good, like in a few days. So It was wild.
Everyone forgot about FD after that.
I was not prepared. Like
Yeah.
and I'm so thankful. If you enjoyed the clip, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
If you didn't, you're weird.
No, if you
Sorry.
didn't, I feel you, dude. I don't like myself either. Like,
I bet. Anyways, okay. Well, I guess to branch from there, give me a little bit more in depth on that car because I know we never really touched on that. Like, what is the setup of it? What was the setup of it then compared to now? Because you said it's LS now, right?
yeah, which is the build I should have done. Back in the day, I wanted to replicate my Pro-Am car, which is just a S13 with just a LS in it. Simple, reliable, wise fab. The thing ripped and just like a super gummy pair of shocks because it was never rear mount. So I don't have all the rear weight to like stack that, like so many people get so much speed off of. But it was the Ford motor, the Roush, which was a sick engine. It made 1,000 horsepower and 14.7 to 1 compression on a 410 cubic inch motor. No aftermarket. If you want to do anything to them, like it just doesn't exist. Like that's Vaughn's program. They have to like R&D all of that stuff. And so that was what it made very little torque. So 1,000 horsepower crank top. It made 600 foot-pounds, and like most of the high up where the motor wanted to sing, it made maybe 400 foot-pounds or so at the crank, and so maybe 300 at the wheel. And so that's where it sounded, and that's why it looked so terrible all the time, was because like you're like, oh my god, that motor sounds crazy, but dude, it's so slow, and it was like and so that was the poor setup. And then the real kicker was everybody else had so it was a NASCAR clutch, and so it was one of the like 5 1/4 triple disc, and so the ring gear is this big around, so the whole clutch itself weighs maybe like 7 pounds, 8 pounds. And you cannot clutch kick them. It's like if you clutch kick them, that motor would like shoot from like 0 RPM to the moon and then just hit limiter, and it like in no time, because it had no rotational mass.
Yeah.
Then as soon as you let that clutch out, like you would just feel the plates ricochet off of each other. The whole car would just go into a crazy vibration. So the first 5 years of FD, I'd never clutch kicked. I had to roll throttle on clutch, off handbrake, everything. And so it's like, it was such a bad setup, and I couldn't. That was the hardest part, was nobody believed me. Like I couldn't. There was nothing I could say to anybody. They'd be like, "This kid, he just doesn't know." Like, and dude, that was the thing that hit me the hardest, because I think all of us as human beings, like, we desire to be seen, and so it's like if you have struggles, like you want to be seen for those struggles, and so it's like there's just so much hatred and like so much stuff, and I would try to explain to people, I'm like, yo, I'm not this shitty. Like, I don't suck this bad.
Right.
And then just every time, and then I would see comments of people just being all like, oh, make sure to stop by Kaufman's pits for his list of, what do they call it? Like excuses and like, and I'm just like, couldn't do anything about it. Even one of my heroes that was really close to as a driver, like he was like, dude, what the fuck is the problem? Are we allowed to cuss on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
He was like,
yeah.
sorry. He was like, what is going on here? I know it's not the car. He was like, what's the deal? And I just stood there in the rain, just like, because we were outside of a restaurant, and I just like, one of the people that I looked up to since childhood is standing right in front of me, talking to me about, but then the only answer I have to give him for why the performance is so bad, he's not going to accept right out the gate. And so it's like, it was, whatever I was meant to go through for that struggle I used to be real bummed about it for a long time, but
Have you ever told any of this stuff?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Actually openly on the internet?
Yeah, for sure. I talked about it a little bit on Goodest, and then with Palmer, and then just.
I didn't get to finish that full episode. That's
dude, it's I've talked about it a little bit, but it's also, it doesn't matter anymore. Like none of it exists. It's like, so
it's all an illusion.
It is. It's just in the past. Like, might as well let go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Content's where it's at now.
What'd you say?
Content's where it's at now. Everything's just content related.
Yeah.
So.
That is the way that it goes.
Yeah. But, well, I mean, speaking of that, though, like I mentioned, the whole, like, driving doesn't kind of push very well as far as social media goes. I do like that you've kind of found a way to use that to your advantage, because it does seem like your driving videos actually kind of do well.
Are like,
which is not very common for most people.
Dude, not at all. I think it's I'm sure it's like some runoff from like the Laguna video and whatnot. Like that plays into it somehow. But I just wanted to be honest. I spent so much time around dishonest folks about like everything they do for social media and whatnot. I just like, and same thing with the cheating aspect of all the cars, like in FD, like I'd hear about all these things and I was like, dude, if I ever won a trophy, then I'd look over at my car and like know the cheating parts of it, and I would just be like, my brain forever would be like, you didn't earn this, like, and so I like always made I don't know. So same thing with social media, like I just didn't want to fake who I am, or like if I'm hyped about something, I want to share it with people, and so it's like, and I think that's what's working out, is that it's all true. Like it's like I'm not doing anything, not fabricating anything to be fake. Like just be ourselves and just have fun and just post.
Ideally, that's the way to go. And if you want anything with longevity, for sure, you just got to be yourself, because those are the people you want to attract anyways. I wouldn't want to keep putting that mask on. Good God,
if you fake who you are to be like something, some image of your, like some vision of what you think you want to be, you're going to attract the equal people of that fake vision. And so it's like, dude, if you're just yourself, you're going to attract the people that like are meant for you. So I agree.
Show
be
me
yourself,
your friends,
kids.
I'll show you your future.
Yeah,
I've heard that before. I don't remember where I heard that, but that was a good one. I was like, fuck. Yeah, I know those people you're talking about.
Dude, for sure.
Oh man. All right. Well, other than the drifting stuff, you also did rally as well, correct? Did that come before drifting, or was that like kind of intertwined?
So when my dad was in his plane crash, he was in a plane crash when I was super young, and then he passed away later from the complications. So I think when I was like 11 or so, he crashed, and then he died when I was 17. But so he had a 2001 Ram SLT, not even a Hemi, just like pickup. That was his ranch truck. And I basically, because he couldn't drive anymore, and so I like basically inherited that once I got my driver's license and stuff. And I live in this not great little place, and it's just like a whatever town but I'm surrounded by hundreds of miles of mountains, and so it's like whether it be tarmac or dirt or whatever, it's littered with roads. Like if I show you, I live on like a video game map.
No shit.
Yeah, and the reason that we have so many tarmac roads is that the military, I guess in the 70s or something like that, if any vital infrastructure was to be damaged coming from the coastline back over to mainland, because it's kind of separated by mountain ranges, then they paved all the mountain roads so that they would have ways to get to the coastline, or vice versa. It's so sick. It's my whole life.
That's so funny.
Yeah, every night, like whether it be on a motorcycle, in my SUK, and whatever, just like I'm just in the mountains, and that's a sick life. But so rally truck.
You're good.
So I started finding those roads when I was young, when I got my driver's license. And then you and your friends would be like so deep in the forest, and then all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, it is 1 o'clock in the morning, and we are like 2 hours away from home. And so it's like so basically drifting and rally racing, like I kind of learned at the same time, because like you would be smooth and quick to be able to make it back home, make sure everybody's comfortable. But then, like, you would have to be sliding the truck because they had no traction control, and they were basically like locked rears in those trucks. And so, like, if we wanted to, and it snows a bunch too, so we would just do, I mean, it's really that's why I say it's two sides of the same coin to me. Like, they're hand in hand.
So you've never done like any competitive rally or anything?
The last time that
That's what I thought.
Yeah, the last time that I drove, we're pretty quick. The last time we drove, we did 4th place. We were 30 seconds off a podium with Pastrana and Higgins at Oregon Trail Rally, and we were in a car that's multiple classes below like what's known as open class. And so they're all running like big turbos, like huge amounts of suspension, that crazy sort of stuff. And we were on a 30 mil restrictor, so I couldn't do over like 80 mile an hour. But it was just I do want to get back. It's just hard to market a program for rally racing in the States. It's hard to watch.
I've seen it pop up a lot more, especially on my social media stuff.
WRC and stuff.
Yeah, rally looks nuts.
It's so fun.
It looks incredibly fun. I want to get into it, but
let's do it.
A whole different, what is the route to go to even get into?
Just getting like a Integra, or like getting like a GC Subaru, or just literally, and that's where you're gonna have to start, because there's licensing in rally racing. So it's like you're gonna have to, if you have 0 stage time, then you're gonna have to. Sometimes I've heard of drifters being able to get higher licenses just because they show how much And I had to petition for my open license, so I can drive like whatever car I want. But
cool.
you could start in, it would be a naturally aspirated, like, 2.5 liter, 2 liter.
Yeah.
The thing that's expensive is the registration, and because it's like, a rally can be like $800 to enter, but they have to shut down so many roads, and they have to work with the government, and like all this. So it makes sense, and also it's like 3 days of driving at a lot of rallies, and you're in the car for like 8 hours sometimes. Yeah.
No shit.
Oh, it's nonstop for days, and so like you do get a ton of seat time. And you can find little rallies where it's like somebody who owns a property like 100 acres or something, and they'll make it, and that's a cheaper way of doing it. Yeah, but you can get into it. It's just not well advertised. Like, yeah.
I figured it wasn't as complicated as it seems, but I didn't realize it was that easy. So like, as far as the car setup though, it would be that bug's fucking it would be like mostly stock, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't. Are you like capped on what you can do to the car
For sure.
starting off in that class?
For sure, absolutely.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they force you to have it bump stock.
There's different ways that you can go about it, and it depends on what class you're entering, in the sense of like and once again, I haven't looked up at these rules for a long time, but it's just like if you're, I can't remember what like the beginner like classes, but it's like naturally aspirated below, X amount of literage per like this car, like if it came factory with this motor, or like things like that. But yeah, when everybody starts out, dude, I started in a GC Impreza in RS, and it had like K-Tech shocks. I don't even remember. It was just like, dude, junk parts, but like not just those ones. Like it wasn't. Yeah. No, I'm not trying to make any statements, but yeah, no, you can get into it. Really, Bilstein heavy duties is what I threw.
Yeah.
I had a Turbo Integra with a Chinese turbo kit on it, and I put this was like my street car, and I put Bilstein heavy duties on it, and then I took some 15s off of V-Dub Golf, and then I did some hand-cooked dirt and snows, which are like a pretty decent, like off-the-shelf rally tire. It's not a rally tire, but it's good for the dirt. Dude, I had so much fun in that car. Like I dodged so many logging trucks.
Do it more now,
Dude, and I did.
I want to so bad
every day. And front wheel, people don't know this about front wheel drive and rally racing, but it's sick because the method, like, it's not like you're gonna understeer into something, grab handbrake to like get it to like slide out. It's like the theory with it. So it's like you remain on throttle when you go through corners, and then you modulate the brake while being on throttle. So the throttle keeps the front wheels spinning, but you're applying brake pressure to all four wheels. So you're basically acting as like a rear brake, as long as you have throttle, and so you can pivot. You'd be like, is that car rear wheel drive? Just because like this Integra is just like linking the whole thing, because you're just like modulating the foot brake and throttle to like. So don't disregard front wheel drive. It's sick, dude, especially for rally racing.
That's incredible. I didn't know that was.
Yeah.
It was like that. Damn. Even I learn something new every day.
Yep.
Shit.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Then. Shit. Oh, what are some, like, I guess, technical comparisons from rally to drifting?
The cages are way crazier. It's really not that much different. It's different in every aspect. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of hard. It's primarily you're using factory components on a lot of rally cars. My Subaru, I have a gnarly Subaru. It's quick, but I use like factory control arms. There's a lot of classes that require, like, you can't run. So my car would be made illegal if I had ran a K&N like filter insert. So it's like I have to run a stock airbox, but I have to use a Subaru paper filter, like from the factory, because otherwise, like, then it's not stock. Like you have a model, you have an aftermarket component in that sense. Yeah. So it's the cage is expensive. The cages are super.
They look like very intense,
big time.
Elaborate.
Yeah, very. And the suspension is expensive.
Okay. As far as, because I know you said you could have like a relatively stock car to get into it, but like as far as a budget for, say, an entire season, how much would you quote an entire budget for that first initial class?
I see. I would only ever hit up a rally like here and there, like maybe do one a year.
Oh, okay.
And so I've never
Yeah.
budgeted to. I would like if I had enough time in
Or how
between
about
a
a full
round of
round?
FD.
Like just a full event, like one full event. How much would that?
The tires are expensive. The fuel is expensive, and also it depends if you're gonna run like Rally Max or anything. Like Rally Max is like I don't even know what it is today. It's like 120, 120 octane, and it's like or something.
Oh,
like,
wow.
And it's like $2,500 a barrel or something like that. It's super expensive, and that's what a lot of like Baja guys run, or like it's gnarly fuel. But you can just do pump gas. And that's
Yeah.
what you really want for a rally car, because like if you're running, like there's so many calculations of like, oh, we'll have this amount of stage, like, but that's the one cool thing about rally racing. And sorry if I'm like rabbit trailing here,
No, you're good.
but like we forgot our spare one time, like when you go to Park Expose each day. So it's like they would have a little town and everybody park their cars like in the town and people will come see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your out time. So it's like you have to check into this gate at this time and then then check into another gate at the stage. We forgot our spare. And so my crew chief, I was like, oh, dude, we do not have a spare here. Like, and we're going like 400 miles through the forest today. Like, we need a spare. And then all of a sudden he like leaves, comes back, and he was like, at this mile marker on this highway, he was like, there will be a beer box on the side of the road, and he was like, and underneath the shrub there will be the spare. And so it's like after we've left timing and like gone out,
No
then it's like
shit.
we're stopping the car, like getting out, like getting the spare, putting it, strapping it back, showing up on time, like. And so there's a lot of really cool.
awesome.
Yeah, it's so I do love. I'm a big adventure nerd, so it's like, yeah, that's rally racing is a big adventure.
It seems like it.
Yeah, but it also, dude, it's not as safe as drifting, that's for sure. Like, we have lost people. And so it's like you have to still, like, reel yourself in. You have to be like, yo, like, I'm not going to throw myself off of this cliff today.
Right.
Yeah, so it's weird being in a sport and spending so much time here where it's so safe and really there's no danger, to all of a sudden you're like, oh, I could die real quick if I didn't do this correctly. And so,
Didn't build your cage right too. Because
Dude.
I mean, you see like some of those big dog rally cars. Like that one video that went viral, or the dude just tumbled
oh yeah,
down the mountain, I guess it was, and you can just see them sitting there, just ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding. They're barely moving.
Hanging onto the
cage
harness.
was just held everything.
yep.
So that's incredible.
The safety of those cars is nutty. Yeah, they are stiff. Those cars are super stiff.
Yeah, needs it.
Yeah,
I would assume at least.
for sure.
Um,
You should get into it. Let me know if you want to get into that stuff. Let me know.
I will definitely let you know, because
Yeah, for sure.
once I got the money.
Sure.
Because right now it definitely ain't it.
A lot of people rent cars too per round. So it's like if you wanted to just
Oh,
rent
really?
somebody's mobile, then yeah,
Huh. Damn, that'd be epic.
yeah. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Okay, then I guess I was gonna ask this, like how you've managed to be able to do a bunch of these motorsports and stuff, especially like extreme motorsports that are normally fairly expensive. But I guess that would all kind of revolve around like same thing as the FD program and sponsors and
Sure.
stuff
Yeah,
like that, right?
we run a farm, and like we I mean we do have ways of, it's not smart. Like it's money that could go to a family someday or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But it's like, dude, life is so short.
Yeah, not to sound repetitive.
Yeah,
like,
we said
'cause
we
I
have
know that's why I say it probably circles back to the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel so blessed to like, be comfortable at all. And so it's like that, we have a good setup in Southern Oregon,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, it's, we've had, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for our sponsors, like none of it. Yeah, the tires, the fuel, just everything. And so you need sponsors. Like if you really want to do this and not have a name on a car at all, even though it would be sick, it's like, you're going to be out of pocket so much money. So it's sponsors is the only way. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, what would it take I know you said you would go back to FD, but what would it take
If
for
the cars
you
were
to
right.
finally do that?
Really, it was just like I have it right now. Like I have the people. Like when I met some of my friends, I knew some of the kids before Drift Week, and we're all like, oh yeah, we'll just all meet at my house, and like because I live in the region, they're like, and then we'll all just go up together, and like I only knew 2 or 3 of the people that were there, and And then like, dude, it was just instant friendship. And that's what I needed. They looked at my pro car and they're just like, dude, what's happening with this? And I'm like, yeah, I just gave up on this. Like I was in a really bad spot in that point in time. Like I didn't have the mentality of like, oh, like all this stuff, all this poor, horrible stuff happened for a reason. And so like they really were like the light in the darkness for me. And so I needed like supporters. They were like, dude, you like, this was not good. This is a garbage car. Like this is not your fault. And so like, it was just, yeah.
If you get mad at your friends for doing that, dude, grow up. You need people like that.
You do. Like
constructive criticism is the best.
Dude, like that is my favorite thing about this friend group is like we've had so many hard conversations where it's like stuff that is not pretty to hear at all, but it's like, cause I love you, bro. Like I want to make sure that your life, like you're as happy as possible. And so it's like, even if like you have friends that like call you out, don't get hurt by it. Like they love you and they're trying to help you. And so it's like, dude, don't get mad at them. Like, yeah.
For real, dude. Like Nate Hamilton, he's been like kind of a big brother for me, helping me kind of understand the industry a little better and what I'm getting into. Yeah, amazing. But he'll literally do that. He'll just blurt it out like that's kind of silly. I mean, I don't. If it were me, I would do, but not to be hateful or whatever. And I'm like, dude, no.
Thank you.
I am beyond thankful that you even have the courage to like tell people that stuff.
Yeah.
I need that so much. I have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like maybe a little, but like I don't give myself the credit ever because I feel like I'm,
humble.
Yeah, you always feel like you're behind and shit.
Sure.
And it's, yeah. Anyways, that's a rant for another day. Okay. Well, I guess what's your next stop for an event?
Well, I'm trying to consider whether or not I want to stay out here for Bowling Green to do LS Fest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I'll probably end up just driving home because I want to do a lot of prep and I want to do some like nitrous work on the pro car and do some body work as well. That car needs a lot of work now. But so either Bowling Green and then I'll go back out to the West Coast to do Laguna. And then I want to try to come back out here to go do the next Appalachia Drift. Mm-hmm. And so it'll be a lot of driving, but the Appalachia events are just so worth it.
Oh, yeah. I want to just at least go to one day. Of
Dude,
course, drive one for sure, but personally, I don't think I have the balls to drive one right now.
No, don't say that.
I don't trust my car enough for all of that. I would be fine linking it and like being able to drive it. I would think I'd be scared shitless the first few times. That's for sure. Going up and down, first few, be puckering the entire way, handbraking every corner. It would.
There's no shame. Like genuinely, the handbrake on the mountain. Like, dude, the handbrake has kept me. The only reason I'm here today is because of handbrakes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would be.
It's
dead.
a tool to save your ass.
I would be dead. But no, dude. Like, just don't overthink it. Yeah. No, you would kill it. Don't worry about it.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that.
Find your way out there.
Oh, I will. I've been talking to like Drift Indy and them, Edgar, for about doing like a podcast and stuff.
Oh, you should.
Reese too.
I love Reese. He was my spotter in FD.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Reese is my boy. Yeah.
Reese is so cool.
He is.
He's a good guy.
He's an OG.
He's like, he's a hard ass though, and I love it.
He's East
like
Coast.
he'll get on your ass.
East Coast.
Good guy.
He is.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, the last 3 questions I do in every podcast is, so if you had, with the knowledge you have now, if you could go back and build the best seat time car possible, what car would it be, and what parts would you buy off of Injuku to put it on there?
Seat time, like to go to grassroots
Seat
events,
time.
not FD. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude. I know people are gonna hate this, but I think that so many people, like all of this is an investment in the sense of spending gas to get to the track, spending money on trying to enter into an event, spending money on tires, like doing all this stuff, and all of that stuff is pointless if your stuff doesn't run. And so,
True.
Dude, I'm a big proponent of like simple push rod V8s. Like if you get so much track time, very little like money has to get put into them even if any at all to make them pretty potent. And like I know it's not great for style and stuff, but or for like the soul of the car, but yeah, I feel like having a seat time car that like this car, like we just show up every single time, like just start it, run it, drive it, put it back in the trailer, and the next time I go to start it, it's gonna start and it's gonna run the whole day like produce 1 million horsepower. My Pro-Am car, the motor that LS that's been in that car for 10 years, 11 years, and I have a GPS speedometer on it, and then that's hooked into the speedometer that has an odometer, a little reading, and so it's been reading distance miles ever since I built it. When I pulled it out of the trailer and like drove it around track, put it back in the trailer.
Nice.
That thing says that it has 1,500 miles. That car has drifted from above the Canadian border to below the Mexican border.
That's nuts, dude.
And it's never been rebuilt. It's never had an issue. It doesn't run hot.
Really impressive.
Yeah, and it's like, how much money have I saved by like just spending extra cash in the beginning to like, I don't want to tell people to like get into that sort of stuff, like buy a V8.
You know, I will.
Yeah.
I do it all the time because don't be me. Like that's literally what I did with my RB. Like I cheated so many areas and I'm paying for it right now. Like I said, I think I mentioned that to you. My trans mount's like a little whatever.
Sure.
That I made. So I think I just blew a drive shaft before I came here.
Oh.
And I think it's because my trans mount is flexing too much. So a whole bunch of other stuff, boost issues, you know, whatever, fuel cut issues, that scares the shit out of me.
Yep, and all like money and stuff, all of it has its value. But once again, it's like the thing that we have the most valuable thing that we have is time. And so it's like, it shouldn't be wasted. If you spend forever like not getting any seat time, you're gonna bum yourself out. Everybody else is gonna be bummed. They're not gonna be able to see what you can do as a driver.
Yeah.
It's, dude, so try to make it as simple as possible. Parts that other people you know are going to have. BMW, I love BMWs. I think they drive really well, and I think that there's so many parts that you can mix match with them. And they do have their own style, and they're not like, I don't think they flick like 13s or like 14s do, but
True.
I do love them. Like I have a E36 as my mountain car, and it's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, considering you had the right car and the right motor set up and everything, what physical like parts would you say would help you learn the best or have the proper seat time car, as far as suspension or, you know, a big one for me is a bucket seat.
Oh, for sure.
That's a massive one for me.
For sure. Yeah. Bucket seats is a great one. That's a difficult question, honestly, because I've tried to ham on so many just garbage vehicles that are just like in such terrible shape. But man, yeah, it's something that's gonna make you feel comfortable. And also, it's like if you like it, like a lot of people like will do stuff like some of the stickers on my car, some of the details and stuff. I'm like, people are gonna think this is cringe or whatever. And then like my other half snaps and is like, dude, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
It's for you to enjoy. It's like who cares? And I used to worry so much about that, but
Right.
dude, you're wasting your life, like, and not just living for yourself. I don't know. Dude.
Trust me, we could go forever about that.
I know, yeah.
All right, well then what is your best just piece of advice for anyone getting into drifting in general?
Dude, follow your heart, dude. Like, yeah, I don't know a better other way to say it. It's like, if you want to do it, go do it. If your parents tell you it's stupid, who cares? If your friends tell you it's stupid, who cares? If your girlfriend's gonna leave you, who cares? Like you're gonna find a better one. And like, dude, yeah, just like follow your. I know it sounds so corny, but like, just do it. Like,
Yeah.
time is like it's running out all nonstop, and it's like, and it's all that we really have is like time and memories. And so it's like, dude, if you want to go driving, do it. If you want to go do some like sick stuff with your friends, do it. Like, I know it sounds like a really simple piece of advice, but dude, just do what you want to do, be yourself, and like, yeah, who cares what other people say? Like, genuinely. Or other people's
Absolutely.
opinions. Who gives a shit? I don't know. Be you.
Yeah.
Just be you.
Good shit. Well, the last one kind of plays into that. It's a little deeper though, obviously. If you had the opportunity to speak to the entire world, what would your one message be?
Oh, I kind of just said it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
dude,
why I was like, just bleed.
don't waste time being who you're not. And don't waste time being around people that are attracted to you because you're being not yourself. And like, dude, like, find your people, be yourself, find yourself, be happy. Don't regret stuff. Just enjoy the sun, like, in a metaphorical sense, like while the day is here, like, be here. I don't know. We could go on
Be
forever
present.
about this. Yeah, be present, be yourself, be happy.
Good shit, dude. This is a good podcast. I
For
like
sure.
this one. Yeah.
Dude, great to finally meet you and hang out with you.
Absolutely, you too.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
This is, man, I'm excited about this. Well, do you want to plug yourself or plug your people, sponsors, anything like that?
My name's Matt Coffman. I'm from Southern Oregon. You can find me at Kaufman Racing, spelled Coffman. I want to thank my best friends, Dylan, Julian, John, Jake. Like, I love you guys. Like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So, yeah, just thank you.
Absolutely.
Just
Anytime.
yeah.
You are more than welcome to come back on anytime,
for sure,
bro.
Dude, it'd be an honor. No, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of Radium, I need to reach out to them. I need to get
I
one
live
of
really
those.
close to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah. I need to get one of their in-surge tanks for the Z.
Oh,
Just because of the fuel cut issues. I don't want to deal with that.
So sick. Have you seen their new unit where all of the pumps are on a pull-up unit?
Really?
So like it's shameless plug right here. Dude, like Radium
fine.
has this new setup where they have the drop-in unit. Or maybe, are you talking for a factory tank?
Yeah, it's for factory
Oh,
tank. Yeah.
I'm not sure if they make it for that, but for their actual like box tanks, they have a new thing where it's like a couple clips and the whole like rack assembly that holds the pumps and the
shit.
lip, dude, and the surge just like all comes out at once, so you can just like change it out, like plop it in and
That's
back
a
in.
cakewalk,
So
dude.
nice, dude. When they make
Nice.
like a total loom for it, so like you can just unplug it like at one
Yeah.
bulk, and then it's like all the wiring for the whole harness, like just so sick. Radium makes the coolest stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
They make really good looking parts.
so
Their
dude.
parts look so good.
And they're the only people who are like continuously innovating like different new stuff.
True, yeah.
Yeah, like they're always have a new product that they're coming out with that just works so well, and you're like, how did nobody think of this? Yeah, I love that kind of. Thank you guys.
Good guys.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. All right, dude. Well, I really appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it.
And especially taking the extra time to stay and do all this. This
Dude,
is really cool.
Yeah, my honor.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's pretty much all we got for this one. So, yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and the bell notification so you're always updated. And, of course, like I mentioned, links to everything you always need are in the description. And big shout out to Gridlife. Big shout out to you again. That's all we got for this one. I will see you each and every Sunday for a brand new episode.
Taking way up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no feelings. I've been taking long flights from the Bay to Ibiza. Hit home runs, I'm a ball like Jeter. I just want fuck, then I leave her. I'm a young pop star, call the boy Justin Bieber. Got a little money if you want, I can teach you. Whole life a movie, you can watch it in theater. Taking way up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no feelings. I've been taking long flights from the Bay to Ibiza. Hit home runs, I'm a ball like Jeter. I just want fuck, then I leave her. I'm